Hello everyone! So now let's talk about the teacher categories, teaching styles, and supervisory approaches to assisting teachers. The teachers. They serve as the guiding force in a student's life. They are responsible for molding a student's personality and shaping his or her mental orientation. Teachers deeply impact our lives and direct the course of our future. One cannot deny the influence of teachers in one's life. They are our constant companions until we grow old enough to come out of their shadow and move ahead on our own. Right from the time we embark on our education trip, we come across different teacher categories. So the first category is friendly teachers. A friendly teacher acts like a friend for his or her students. They combines both the guidance of a teacher and the understanding of a friend. At some point of time, we aspire for an understanding teacher, since a teacher acts like our friend, philosopher, and guide. Next teacher category is the funny teachers. A funny teacher is like a godsend to the students. They always want to see their students smile and make learning an enjoyable experience. They are not clumsy as most people think them to be. Rather, they are amusing and bring in humor in the most elusive form. Next is the ideal teachers. An ideal teacher is the one we respect from our heart. They act as a guide to the students while not pushing them too much, and it perfectly influences them and increases their morale. They try to inspire the students and avoid criticizing them. Next category is the lenient teachers. As compassionate teachers, they are easygoing and take things as they come. They are not overly choosy about things such as doing homework on time or not sitting quietly in the class. They very well realize that being strict with the students can only make them withdrawn. However, this does not mean that one can do anything in the class of a spoiling teacher. Last is the strict teachers. They are very threatening on the students. They always maintain on following to the deadlines. They dislike any errors or negligence on the part of the students. Students have to be extra cautious under such teachers. They are like disciplinarians who always keeping students on their toes. So here is my question. As a teacher, in what category are you belong? So now let's talk about the teaching styles. It is also called teaching methods. These are considered to be the common principles, educational and management strategies for classroom instruction. So here is my second question. Who are the two philosophers that developed different theories as to how to educate, which led us to have the idea of different teaching styles today? Different teaching styles are essential because the students need to be able to learn what the teacher is teaching. However, the choice of teaching styles used can also depend on the school mission statement, the classroom demographics, the educational philosophy of the teacher, and most importantly, the subject area. There are 5 main types of teaching styles and methods to choose from. First, we have the authority method. It is also known as the lecture style. It involves sitting and listening to the teacher state about a pre-assigned topic while the students take note and memorize to the best of their ability what is being said. It is more common in universities and some high schools due to a greater student populace. However, it is less common in the standard classroom situation due to its absence of student involvement and inability to meet students' need. Next is the demonstrator method. It is widely known as the coaching style. Similar to the lecture style, the demonstrator method tries to maintain authority in the classroom. Even so, instead of using only a verbal lecture to give information and teach, this style coaches students using gateways like multimedia presentations, class activities, and demonstrations. For subjects like music, art, and physical education subjects, this style is perfect because the demonstration is usually necessary to acquire a full understanding of the subject. However, a disadvantage is that there is a little individual interaction between the teacher and students, which makes it challenging to accommodate to personalized needs. Next is the facilitator style. It is also known as the activity or action method. It tries to encourage self-learning through peer-to-teacher learning. In contrast to the lecture style, teachers ask students to question rather than give them the answer. The goal is for students to develop a deeper understanding of the topic by using self-discovery and develop problem-solving skills. It is best used in small classroom settings because the teacher needs to interact with the students on an individual basis, which can be difficult with a greater number of students. Next is the delegator style or group method. It is used for school subjects that require group work, lab-based learning, or peer feedback. For example, science classes and certain language learning classes. The teacher becomes an observer to promote peer collaboration and encourage student-to-student learning. This style becomes more and more popular throughout many classrooms. However, some people consider other styles to be more proactive due to the fact that the group method removes the teacher from a position of authority. Last but not the least, the hybrid method. It is also known as blended learning. It is a combined teaching style that integrates personal preferences, individual personalities, and specific interests into their teaching. It is popular in English, science, and religion classes because it is easy to incorporate extracurricular knowledge into a develop deeper knowledge of a particular topic. Some argue that this style weakens the learning process because the teacher tries to be all things to all students. So these are the 5 main types of teaching styles. So now let's talk about the supervisory approaches to assisting teachers. So we have different models of supervision. So first, we have the directive supervision. In directive supervision, the role of the supervisor is to direct and inform the teacher, model teaching behavior, and evaluate the teacher's mastery of defined behaviors. There are at least 3 problems with directive supervision. First is that there is the problem of how the supervisor defines good teaching. Second is that this model may give rise to feelings of defensiveness and low self-esteem on the part of the teacher, that it can make teachers see themselves as inferior to the supervisor, and this can lower their self-esteem. Another negative consequence of directive supervision is that it can be threatening. Although the teacher wants to fully engage himself in his own ideas of what the students could benefit from, he could not because of the overriding threat that the supervisor would disapprove. The third problem of the directive supervision is that there is a problem of assigning ultimate responsibility for what goes on in the classroom. With directive supervision, a prescriptive approach forces teachers to comply with what the supervisor thinks they should do. This keeps the responsibility for decision-making with the supervisor instead of shifting it to the teacher. The next model of supervision is the alternative supervision. In this model, the supervisor's role is to suggest a variety of alternatives to what the teacher has done in the classroom. Having a limited number of choices can reduce teachers' anxiety over deciding what to do next, and yet it still gives them the responsibility for decision-making. The purpose of offering alternatives is to broaden the scope of what a teacher will consider doing. The supervisor offers suggestions about how alternatives can be used to guide the beginning teacher. The aim is for teachers to try alternative behaviors and to pay attention to the consequences. If teachers are provided with strategies that give them a way to understand the consequences of what they do, teachers can gradually on themselves to make teaching decisions. So next is the collaborative supervision. So in this model, the supervisor's role is to work with the teachers but not direct them. The supervisor actively participates with the teacher in any decisions that are made in attempts to establish a sharing relationship. The teacher and supervisor work together in addressing a problem in the teacher's classroom teaching. They pose a hypothesis, experiment, and implement strategies that appear to offer a reasonable solution to the problem under consideration. Instead of telling the teacher what he should have done, the supervisor could have asked, "What did you think of the lesson? How did it go? Did you meet your objective?" This would be said in a positive, interesting, and non-judgmental way. Next is the non-directive supervision. In this model, the supervisor attempts to have the teacher come up with his own solutions to teaching problems. Supervisors who listen and demonstrate an understanding of what the teacher has said are providing an understanding response. An understanding response is a recognized version of what the teacher has said. If supervisors are more non-directive when supervising, teachers will have the freedom to express and clarify their ideas, and the feeling of support and trust could grow between the supervisor and the teacher. Non-directive supervision can also have a different result. Some teachers report that it makes them feel anxious and alienated. One reason for anxiety may be due to the inexperience of the teacher. The way the supervisor understands non-directive supervision could also cause the teacher anxiety. The supervisor has simply used the external techniques while ignoring the deeper principles. Next is the creative supervision. The creative model encourages freedom and creativity in 3 ways. It allows a combination of models or a combination of supervisory behaviors from different models. It also allows shifting of supervisory responsibilities from the supervisor to other sources. It also allows an application of insights from other fields that are not found in any of the models. Working with only one model can be appropriate, but it can also be limiting. Sometimes, a combination of different models might be needed. So next is the self-help explorative supervision. The self-help explorative model of supervision is an extension of creative supervision. It provides opportunities for both teachers and supervisors to gain awareness of their teaching through observation and exploration. The supervisor is not seen as a helper, which is the basis for other models of supervision, but as another, perhaps more experienced, teacher who is interested in learning more about his or her own teaching. The aim is for both the visiting teacher and the teacher to explore teaching through observation of their own and others' teaching in order to gain an awareness of teaching behaviors and their consequences, as well as to generate alternative ways to teach. So these are the 6 models of supervision. So here are my references. Thank you so much.